Hey, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles at Great Millstone. And peace to you, sincere brothers out there at the True House of David. And basically, what I want to do is just go into the scriptures real quick, because what you got to understand about the scriptures, when the Lord came on the scene, the Lord knew that, he understood that he was here to do a purpose, and the ones that were of the Lord, they knew that the Lord was here because the Heavenly Father sent them. And you got to understand that if you're of the Lord, then you're going to understand who the Lord actually sent. And as the Lord said, if you understand, you got to believe that, you got to know that the Lord, you got to understand that the ones that's of the Lord, they're going to understand who the Lord is actually dealing with, because that's what the Lord said. As we read earlier, I'm going to read this again, John chapter 14, verse 6. And Yahweh Shai said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no man cometh unto the Father but by me. Now it says, if ye had known me, you should have known my Father also. So like, if you don't really know the Lord, then you're not going to really understand who the Lord sent. And the only way you're going to understand who the Lord actually sent is you have to actually be in the Spirit. And the Spirit will dictate unto you being what spirit of man is in, if the Lord actually sent him or not. Now, in these day and ages, a lot of guys, they don't really understand that the Lord is actually dealing with certain men. And it's not so much of who everybody favorites, because it's a real scary thing, man. How this thing is looking, man. The Most High is really casting judgment out. And because men are so fucking evil, they really don't understand the judgment that the Lord is actually throwing out on their ass. And we see that shit, bro. And it's real scary. So just as the Lord said, if you have known the Lord, John 14:7, if ye had known me, ye should know my Father also, and henceforth ye know him and have seen him. That's right. So if you understand who the Lord actually, if you understand that the Lord was sent, and you understand, like going back in them times, in the ancient times, you got to understand that most of the men in them times, they didn't understand that the Most High sent the Lord, to do these beautiful works. They didn't understand that because the spirit wasn't open to a lot of men. Just as you go into Matthew 13:9-10, the scriptures tell you that it was given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but unto them it's not given. So for like the majority of people, when the Lord was saying the parables, because he didn't want everybody to get it. So what you got to understand is, dealing with this truth, and back in these times, the Lord don't really want everybody to understand who he's actually dealing with. But if you're of the Lord and you can actually see, and you can look past everything and actually see who the Lord's dealing with, because the Lord said, if you don't believe him, then believe the works that he do. And that can determine who the Lord is. Now, jumping down, John chapter 14, verse 10. Believest thou not that I am in the Father, and in the Father in me? The words I speak unto you, I speak not of myself, But the Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. So we don't speak of ourselves. This is not our word. This is not our Bible. And we're trying to get brothers to believe on the word and trying to make you understand that the Lord did not send everybody. He only sent a few men, and a few men that's actually sincere. So understanding that when you see certain men do the work, you got to understand that the works that they do is because the Father is in them. Now, verse 11, it says, believe me that I am in the Father and the Father is in me, or else believe me for the very works' sake. You know, the works and the miracles and the things that the Lord was doing, it was actually showing men that the Lord was actually behind them. And that's what we're trying to get, men to see. That certain men, I say, as for me and the brothers that's sincere, we're not doing this to be seen of men. We're doing this because the Lord have sanctioned us in these last days to bring this truth out before the destruction can actually come. So you have to look at this thing as the Lord actually sanctioned us in these last days, and not everybody is sanctioned. So the Lord was saying, if you are of the Lord, if you're really of the Lord, right, then you can understand and see who the Lord actually sanctioned. And what you got to understand is, if you're not of the Lord, then you're not going to really be able to see who the Lord has sent. And it's more than just looking at a person for the views, or if he's good with this person or that person. Because you have true men of the Lord that's all over the world in other countries nobody's never seen. And these guys are in the spirit, but we never met them or seen them or none of that. But like I say, you have here in America, a lot of men, they have, been exalted. They've been this, that, and the third. And most of the men that's in the spotlight, they can't even see who's actually in the spirit. And because a lot of men can't understand who's in the spirit, this tend to bring of an effect of not really knowing who the Lord's dealing with. So then you not knowing who the Lord's dealing with, you don't really understand who the Lord actually put his spirit on. And that's the majority of the world. But the men that's actually in the spirit, who the Lord's dealing with, you can see who the Lord's dealing with. You can see who the Lord's not dealing with. And it's not according to titles or men and guys exalting themselves. It's all according to the spirit. And you have to really be in the spirit. And that's the thing about it. If somebody had to tell you to do the work, or to go to the highways, or to do this or to do that, then you're not in the spirit, because you're not being led by the spirit of the Lord. A lot of men are being led by the spirit of this fucking world. And that's what we're trying to get people to see, that everybody teaching this word is not being led by the spirit. Everybody teaching this word does not have the love of the Father in them. Because a lot of men teaching this word, they hate their brother. And you gotta understand that everybody teaching this word are not of the Lord. But the men that's actually of the Lord, they'll be able to tell who is of the Lord, because they're all going to have the same spirit. Now, John chapter 14, verse 11, it says, believe me that I am in the Father and the Father is in me, or else believe me for the work's sake. See, for a lot of brothers, it's going to be in the order of the work's sake. You see, the works and the spirit, how a person may come, is going to be able to determine who is of the Lord or not. For men that's carnal in the flesh, they're going to need views and likes and big ups and this, that, and the third. But for the men that's in the spirit, they're going to be able to see other men that's actually of the Lord in the spirit. Now it says, verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. So he that believeth on the Lord is going to be able to do greater works. Because if you look at this time is a way more demonic type of work. The way of the Lord is, the way of the world is demonic. Now going back to John chapter 10 verses 32, it says, Yahweh saying unto them, many good works have I showed you from my Father. For which of those works do you stone me? Do ye stone me? And the Jews answered him, for a good work we stone thee not, but for blasphemy, because thou being a man maketh himself God. So that shows you that even in that time and in this time now, that the ones that held themselves of a great higher seat, the scribes and the Pharisees, they really didn't understand who the Lord actually sent. Now, these were men of higher stature. These were men with praise. These were men that had the accolades. These were men that everybody looked to, you see? And it's the same thing today. Many guys don't see the spirit on certain men because they're not part of their group or this, that, and the third. When the Lord is telling you that, hey, many good works I've sold you. And so which of these works do you stone me for? So which of these works do you actually hate us for? You see? And this place is way more demonic than it was back then. But just proving, just off of the works and the miracles and showing you, like certain brothers can show you that the Most High is dealing with them, and the majority of people still are not going to accept brothers for as it is, you see? And that's what time we're living in. And the whole thing is, the true men of the Lord are not going to be accepted like that, because the world that they are subject to, the majority of men, because of the hatred and the envy and the dislike, and a lot of men not really being in tune to the spirit, the true men of the Lord are not going to be shown love like that, you see? And that's going to cause a lot of people unto destruction, because the true men of the Lord are supposed to be rejected. Therefore, the majority of the world can be destroyed. Now it says, John 10 and 33, the Jews answered him, saying, for a good work we stone thee not, but for blasphemy, and because thou hast being a man, making himself a God. And Yahweh saying unto them, it is written in your law, I say, ye are gods. And if ye be called them gods, until the word of the Most High came, and the scriptures cannot be broken. Say ye of him whom the Father hath sanctioned and sent to the world, thou blasphemest, because I said, I am a son of the Most High. If I do not the works of my Father, believe me not. But if I do, ye believe not me, because the works that I may know and believe that the Father is in me and I am in him. Now check this out. Therefore they sought again to take him, but he escaped out of their hand. So actually being in this world, the demonic vibration that's so heavy out here, and a lot of guys not really having a spirit, not being able to discern, you got to understand that it don't matter the works that you do, because most of our people, just like in them times, they didn't have the spirit on them to actually discern. The majority of our people, they're in the flesh. That's why they want the likes of men. That's why they want the views and the clout, because a lot of men have not been gifted with the spirit to actually see who's actually in a righteous spirit. The majority of men have been blinded by the carnal ways of the world. Therefore, they cannot discern who's actually in the spirit. And only a few men will be able to do that. And a lot of men don't have integrity to disagree with the crowd. And what you have here is a lot of men, searching the love and the favors of men when they're not able to have integrity and righteousness and be like, hey man, these brothers is in the spirit, or this guy's in the spirit. Everybody wants to be accepted and they don't want to look like an outcast. But when the prophets are old and the Lord came on the scene, that's all they were set up here to do. They were set up to be an outcast and nobody really accepted them. And the Lord is saying, because of the works that I did, you don't believe me not. So us brothers that's truly sincere, that believe in this thing, we know that the works that we do is not of our own, and we know that the Lord hath sent us. But unto the world, unto those that's unbelieving, they're not going to believe in us anyway, because they were not set up to actually believe in us. They were set up to be against us, and there's nothing we can do to get the ones that don't believe to actually believe in us, because they were sanctioned to not believe until they ass be destroyed. And a lot of men do not look really into the spirit of men. They just look onto how they might like a man, you see? And so if they don't like a man, then the next man shouldn't like him, and so on and so forth. And that's why a lot of people and a lot of men are not in the spirit, because they're in their emotions. And the whole thing about this truth is, for a lot of men, is if you're not famous among the crowd, and the crowd is not glorifying you, then you're not a man of the Lord. When actually it's the opposite around. When you're not glorified and nobody looks to you and everybody casts you out and you hate it for the word of the Lord, that's when the Lord is actually dealing with you. So Yahweh Shah was saying, many good works the Lord have done, and he showed you that basically he is of his Father. But in this day of age, just like in those ancient times, you can do all these beautiful works and have all these signs and wonders, and guess what? You will still be hated, because this generation is a generation of hatred. And there's no love in this generation except for the ones that's actually in the spirit, that actually can see. And so I just wanted to bring that out, because when you understand that a lot of men are not of the Lord, but they sit in them high seats. And the men, and these guys are not of the Lord, but they sit in these high seats. And so their judgment is fucked off, so they really can't see who's in the spirit. And the ones who they want to be in the spirit, they're not in the spirit. And the Heavenly Father's not dealing with everybody. And, what you got to understand is that everybody wants the Lord to deal with who they want the Lord to deal with. And they're not really looking at who the Lord is really dealing with, because the Lord haven't given them the eyes to see like the Spirit is really dealing with men. So we're in a wicked situation. We're in a wicked time where men can only see with their wicked carnal eyes of who they like, and not understanding that the Lord was saying, like, hey man, you got to believe the works that I do, that testify that I'm actually of the Lord. And by the power that the Lord comes through, and by the power how men speak, you can tell who the Lord is dealing with. But being that this world's evil and men are evil, men are not going to be able to see, because they have been spiritually blocked. Because according to Matthew 13:9, it's not given to everybody. And so, like I say, many are called, but few are chosen. And the ones that actually have the Spirit, they're going to actually know who else has the Spirit. And the ones that have the Spirit, they're not going to be on the forefront, and everybody's not going to like them. actually they're going to be hated because their spirit is not going to be of this world. Just like the Spirit of the Lord, it wasn't of this world. So if you don't have the Father, then you don't understand who the Lord actually sent. And just like the world didn't understand that the Lord actually sent the Lord, that the Most High sent the Lord, his Son, just like in this time, you're not going to understand who the Lord actually sent, because you don't actually know the Father. So a lot of men don't know the Father. They actually just know this world. But unto us brothers that actually know the Father, we can actually see who the Lord is actually dealing with. And with that, hey, Shalom.